Welcome back to Blog Access 101. I'm your host, Young Abachi. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify by searching Blog Access 101. If you're YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This is episode 231. Here today, my co-host, Ashley. What up, Ashley?
Hey Rob, so glad to be here.
Appreciate you coming on. We jump right into it. Game one, WNBA Finals. Something was telling me on my parlay, my YOLO joint to put +6, but then I was like, no, I did the players one. Um, But yeah, Minnesota Lynx definitely got that dog in him. Courtney Williams was definitely clutch and for regulation for the full quarter. She definitely kept them in the game and hit that clutch three uh and free throw to put them up one. Only play that killed me in that fourth quarter was like a couple seconds left. Like Nafisa, she tried to overplay the Stewie cut and this
hmm
backdoor. I'm like, yeah, that's no. Like you don't never try to go for it. I mean, obviously it's a clutch game situation, but that right there, you got to play at home. Do not put yourself in a situation where you're gonna let the refs have to bail this player out because she's crashed into the basket. There's nobody back there that's gonna stop her other than you. And luckily, she smoked the layup because that would have been a hell of a way to lose. What did you think of the game?
Well, first of all, I think that was one of the greatest sports games I've ever watched, just in general, like men's, women's basketball. And I think it's one of the greatest games in WNBA history. But I think it's scary hours for the New York Liberty. I do. I know it's just game one, but you just lost game one at home against a team that is not as experienced as you. That's scary, especially how they always talk about all year, Rob. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but all year, the Liberty keep talking about how they learn from their mistakes from last year in the finals. They're not going to make the same mistakes. And we sat up there and watched them make the same mistake in game one.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think it's scary hours because they have like these lapses, these mental lapses where they allow teams to get in the game. And that's the issue. So, I thought it was great. I thought Nafisa was fantastic. I thought Courtney Williams was absolutely sensational. And but the issue is all Courtney, I think the Courtney Williams, I think she played in the finals, but their franchise player, Nafisa Collier, has never played in the finals. This is their first time in the finals. Meanwhile, New York has all this experience in the
yeah.
finals. So that's why I say it's scary hours for the Liberty.
I told somebody I said the reason for the only way New York wins is if John Carl Jones shows up, and she had 24 and 10, and
Mm-hmm.
still lost. Not looking good for them. I feel like they win game two today, just because it's in New York, and I feel like they want to get the full 5 games for the WNBA. Shout out to them finally moving the NBA Finals to 7 games. They should have all series for 7 games. I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's weird how they do it, but whatever. Um, I'm just glad they finally fixed at least the WNBA Finals. Hopefully, they fix everything else um soon. But yeah, Sabrina was shooting out her mind. That was the first half. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I had the 2 3s. I'm like, damn, I should have probably put 3 or 4 in there because she was letting them things loose. 26, she shot 26 threes. That's insanity. Um, but when you score like that, you can't even get mad at players shooting like that. Stewie played pretty well. 18-9 minus her missing that free throw at the end, which I was shocked about. Because typically she's using clutch in those type of times. You could see it on her face that she was hurting that she missed, but I was glad she did because for Nafisa Collier to get the 20 points and 8 rebounds. Well, only thing I don't like about Nafisa is she plays like a little too lax. Like you're the star player
mm-hmm.
of the team. Like start calling for the damn ball. It's overtime, fourth quarter. There's no way you go. They went through like 2, 3 possessions in the fourth quarter of her not even touching the ball. Like that's insanity. Like you never see the Aces go and have an office where Aja Wilson doesn't touch the ball for 2, 3 possessions, or a Stewie for New York, and it's or Alyssa Thomas over there in Connecticut. It's just like you're the star player in this team. The team moves and thrives for you. It's like I mean, I shout out to Courtney Williams. She was going off, and she the reason why they got the game in overtime. But I feel like in overtime, she was doing a little bit too much, and somebody need to bring her back down to reality. Like, yeah, you're playing a great game, but you're the role player on this team. This is not your team.
I agree. I
Um,
agree. I
like,
agree.
Because it was like one play, but she just went down the lane like fully out of control. And that's when Nafisa got to go over there. Like obviously, Courtney's more experienced. Obviously, she played a championship with 2022 with the Suns. But you got like it's like I don't know if you listen to Jeff T's podcast, like when he was over there in Indiana when Paul George was like, I got to take that shot. That's what Nafisa needs to say. Like, hey, this is fourth quarter. We're in overtime. Like, thank you for getting us here, but the ball needs to come through me at this point.
I
And it's
agree.
like she's setting back screens like she's like a role player. Like, I get it. Like, she's a big, but it's no way these screens really should be getting set for her to get open because she can shoot the ball as well and get on the block. So, like, I remember one play they did where she set a screen and was able to flash low on the low block and get the ball and score. And I'm like, yeah, that shit could have easily because I remember when she played with the Mercury, she had what 30 points back to back games, and it's just like we know what she can do. It's like I don't know. I feel like sometimes teams just not freeze her out, but it's like they try to be more guard heavy with Kayla McBride, which I love. I love her. I love her game. And Courtney Williams, it's like there's two great guards, but it's like you have a superstar. I mean, obviously she's still young, but I feel like she's one of the best bigs in the league. I honestly thought she could have won MVP, but Asia Wilson just playing out of her mind. Had Asia Wilson not played out, but not playing out of her mind, she probably would have won that too, along with Defensive Player of the Year. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but because without her, the Minnesota Lynx definitely don't get here. But I remember I was telling myself, I told you before in the text, like I had like a feeling I was like before the playoffs started, I was like, damn, I'm taking Minnesota to win the chip and I should put it in my team parlay. But soon after they won in game one, I put that joint right in there. Um, I had them on there. Ohio State won the national championship, even though they pissed me off yesterday. I don't know what our quarterback was thinking. We had a timeout. You got to slide, bro. It's like after you pick up 5, 6 yards, slide and call a timeout. Like I feel like he's trying to get extra, and you can't get mad at a player trying to like put the team in the best situation. But at that point, you gotta have that game management, and you gotta know and just let that knee go down and let the kicker could be down 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
This thing, and then that offensive passing. I know we're not talking about that, but I was just talking about the team parlay. That offensive pass free play yesterday. But yeah, I had them. Then I was thinking, I'm thinking of Boston. I had put Boston on there repeating. Um, Matter of fact, let me look at it to make sure because I was thinking of Sixers, but I'm just like, man, they just never just stay healthy. But my thing is what I heard from Embiid in that media day where he was talking about he not worried about All-Star or MVP. I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely about to be sitting a lot of games. And I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Because for once we might have a healthy Embiid in the playoffs. That would be scary. So and I'm not really a big fan of Paul George, but he's looking pretty good thus far. Can't even lie.
He is. He is. He is. But let me go back to the WNBA real quick. Let me finish getting this off.
You
So
got
number one, yeah, like you said, Fee gotta have more. She gotta be proactive, right? She gotta reach out. She gotta demand the basketball, like you said. And I have it more so an issue with the Liberty. Like, okay, Fee wasn't demanding the ball, but they still won and they played bad
yeah.
for 60 to 70% of that game.
Mhm.
And like New York, like you said, Sabrina was shooting out of this world in the first half. Phoebish, is that her name? Phoebish or something like that? That the girl that was shooting all them threes for the Liberty, like she hit like 5 threes.
Oh yeah. I know you're talking about the 6'4" girl. Yeah.
Yeah, Phoebish hit 5 threes. Are you going to get that again in game two? Like they played a brilliant game, like first half of the game one. And so New York, my issue with New York, Rob, is that number one, they got to take care of the basketball. They can't let Minnesota get in transition. But I think they need to play through Elena more because I look at Elena. I'm not Elena. I'm sorry, Stewie. I think they need to play through Stewie more
Yeah.
because I look at Stewie kind of like a KD adjacent, like they both long. Because I don't think teams play through KD enough, and I don't think teams play through Stewie enough.
Mhm.
Because the difference between, to me, the difference between the New York Liberty and the Lynx are size. Like I don't think Minnesota has an answer for their size, but they don't apply their size because as you saw, Jonquel Jones, JJ can be weak sometimes, even though she played decent first game. But she could have moments. She could have
Oh yeah.
lapses.
Yeah, definitely a fourth quarter when she got her shot blocked and was complaining for a foul. I'm like, yo, that was her hand was straight up vertical and she blocked your shot. Like, get tougher down there. But my bad. Continue.
No, no, no. You good. You good. It's my issue that they don't play through Stewie enough. Like I understand Sabrina's a fantastic talent, but who is your franchise player? I thought Stewie was a franchise player. I
Yeah,
did. I thought Stewie was and they don't play through her enough. So that's what I'm saying. It's scary. It's really scary for the New York Liberty. I do think that they're going to win game 2, but the stats said since 2018, every team that won game 1 won the series
I love it.
since 2018. So it'll be really tough for the New York Liberty to win this game. Not win this game, win this series according to the data. So yeah, it's scary hours, and it's even scarier, Rob, if they don't win the series because they need to have some serious conversations. This team was designed and built to win championships, and they have not won a championship yet.
Yeah, they knocked the team out that's always giving them issues.
Yeah.
And so they probably thought it was going to be a cakewalk. I could have told you that it wasn't going to be a cakewalk with that Minnesota team. They're playing phenomenal, great defensive team. And I feel like the Liberty are finally realizing, like, yeah, this is not going to be a cakewalk. We need to wake up. That's why I feel like they win today, and I think they win big.
Mm-hmm.
I think about 12 to 14.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because they realized they need because they've been up. They had I think they're what Lynx went on a couple 12-2 runs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, you can't expect to win a game. You let a team go on runs like that. I don't care how good you are. So I think this time they could keep the foot on the gas for at least this game 2. I think it goes back to Minnesota. They win game 3. Of course, the Lynx win game 3 at home. And they really only need to win one at New York.
Yeah.
The pressure's on New York. I mean, I feel like it already was, but now it's even more on New York.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so
I mean, Rob, going in, Minnesota had nothing to lose. Literally, because when you look at all the polls who's going to win the championship before the season, nobody picked the Minnesota Lynx,
sure didn't.
and most of them select the New York Liberty. So New York came in with all the pressure on their shoulders, and Minnesota came in free. And Minnesota played free in that second half, Rob. That was what I
Mhm.
saw. Minnesota played free, and New York was shaky. They made so many mental lapses, so many issues, and so many mistakes. So we'll see what happens, but I do think New York is going to win today, but I really hope Minnesota wins the entire series.
Same. But yeah, so yeah, I definitely think that's a great series. I guess I'll talk about the Phillies. Um, yeah, Philadelphia Phillies. I said it before, I say it again. I love Trey Turner, but I honestly think we should have waited another year to go get a Shohei Ohtani. Not just for his hitting. I know he had 50 plus home runs, plus 50 plus stolen bases a year, which is the first time in what MLB history. But also he's a hell of a pitcher. Obviously, he couldn't pitch this year because he was recovering from injury. But next year he'll probably be pitching, and I feel like that's our issue as with the Phillies. We can never stay healthy or have good enough pitching. Now this time, granted, the pitching held up, or at least our starters with game 1 with Wheeler. Through what 7 innings. It was a shutout, and I even was like, oh, he's probably tired. It's probably good that we took him out, but it's like if I known um they were going to shit the bed like that, I just don't get it. Like he goes 7 innings, no runs. We only had one. Our hitting was definitely not hitting. Uh, then on top of that, what was it Hoffman comes in and gives 5, then our other reliever comes in and gives up a few more runs, and it's like here we go with this shit again. It's always the bullpen that's the issue we had. Um, like they always talking about how these relief pitchers were doing well in the regular season. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. When the playoffs start, we don't give a fuck about what you did in the regular season. And they came out and got cooked. Got cooked. Game like it's no way we go in 7 innings up 1-0 and end it 6-2. Hitting was definitely an issue right there. Um, guys definitely need to step up. Um, let's see. Trey Turner 0 for 4 that game 1. Paid him all that money for whatever reason. Didn't show up. Stott MIA. Same thing for JT. The only one that really was showing up was Schwarber. That's just game one alone. Let's go to the earned runs. Hoffman comes in 1 inning, three earned runs. You can't win again. Then you bring in another guy strong. I think he's going to like already slow it down. Comes in, gives up two. Yeah, you can't win a game doing it. I don't care how good your starting pitchers are. You can't win a game when your lead pitcher's playing like horseshit. There's no way around it. Now we go to game two. We could hit a ball if they threw an underhand to us. Uh, like it's just well at least for the first 5 innings it was just ridiculous. He lost that 7-6. I mean won that game 7-6. Uh, a nail biter. That was that Sunday game that almost gave me a heart attack when I was watching it at the cigar lounge. I thought I just knew he lost, but I came back home and see the walk off hit by Nick Castellanos, which was clutch as hell. That was the one time our batters were remembering how to hit the ball again. Uh, let's go to that. Check the stats for that. Uh, Schwarber had a bad game there, but you can't even get mad because he hit the home run in that last game. Trey Turner finally woke up with a 2 for 4. Harper obviously 1 for 3 hit the big home run. It was clutch as hell. Uh, that's see when our bats are working, that's where we can survive. Pitching wasn't too bad. Sanchez he played decent throughout the majority of the game. Um, only gave up 2 earned runs, which is good against a Mets team that has solid hitters. They don't have no outside of Marte and Lindor. They don't have no like superstar guys, but they had the guys that do the dirty work like what's his name? JT Martinez, Iglesias, Jose Iglesias, and Alonso. But it's just like man, it's always something with Philadelphia sports. They always build you up to just break you down.
Nah.
Uh, game three. Um again, batting went MIA. I think the bats were real snoozers. They must went on spring break or something early. Because they were nowhere to be found. Obviously, again, Schwarber had a decent game. Trey Turner 1 for 3. Harper 1 through 4. But it's just we just couldn't get it going. Nola, he's typically supposed to be decent on the road, but as we saw that game, he gave up 4 runs. That was the one time our starting pitchers gave up more than 2 runs, and we paid the price because bad pitching and bad hitting is a terrible recipe for disaster. So lost that game 7-2. Then we came back Wednesday in a must-win game and out there in New York and just lost 4-1. The team looked like they were depleted. They looked like they were ready to go on break, in which we are here now. Again, Trey Turner in a deciding game 0 for 4. What are we paying him money for? Uh, Suarez, did decent through the 4 innings, didn't give up any runs. Uh, and here we go again. I don't know why we bring this motherfucker back out after he gave up 3 runs in game one. We say, hey, let's bring him back out in an elimination game, and he gives up 3 runs. I'll tell you one thing. Hoffman better not be on the Philadelphia roster next year. I'll tell you that. Man gave up 6 runs, pitching 2 innings. He better not show his face in Philadelphia. It's a curtain call. Um, yeah, so again, relief pitching is our issue. I feel like we have decent starters with Suarez, obviously Zach Wheeler. I feel like we can get another Zach Wheeler type S pitcher, we'll be fine. But the relief pitchers is really killing us. Um, yeah, Hoffman got to go. That was just downright disgusting. I could have went out there and did that. So yeah, off season something has to shake. Either the hitters got moved, but they need to go get some pitching. Their sole focus this year should be on pitching alone, starting and relief pitchers. I like Suarez is a good on the road pitcher. Nola's up and down. You never know which one you're gonna get from him. Sanchez shows promise. So we just need to get I'll say another good one or two pitchers. If we can get a great, we just need another one. But 2 good ones, solid ones, and we definitely need to focus on relief pitchers, which we tend to ignore. Um, so hopefully that everybody over there in the Philadelphia organization is already looking at who they want to get in this free agency. Um, want to talk about your Lakers?
I do want to talk about my Lakers. So I've seen about 2 to 3 preseason games so far. And I gotta say, I don't feel bad. I feel like I like what JJ is doing so far. I do. I do. JJ, I don't want to be too unrealistic, but I like what I've seen from JJ in regards to Rob. I don't know if you saw, I think it was the last game.
Mhm.
Coach JJ, he called a timeout 2 minutes into the game. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. If you don't like what you're seeing, call the damn timeout. Okay. So he called a timeout 2 minutes into the game. And I was like, I like what I'm saying already. But what I've seen consistently in all these games is a lot of off ball movement. Okay. As you know, when Ham Sandwich was the coach, there was no off ball movement. Okay. There was no movement. Okay. It was just, it looked like college. It looked worse than college ball, if I'm being honest. And so off ball movement, Braun doesn't have the ball 80% of the play anymore. AD is in the post.
Amen.
That's what makes me happy because again, Ham Sandwich had that nigga catching the ball outside the 3-point line every single time, and that was it. Like there was no action for him to come up and give us some post work. So AD is doing a lot in the post, and he's also switching things up. Like I saw a 1-2-2 zone. I think I saw a 2-3 zone. I've seen a 1-3-1 zone, and we're just a couple of games into the preseason. So I like what Coach JJ is doing, and in the timeouts, he's actually talking basketball. Do you know what Ham was doing? He was saying, "Come on, guys, y'all got it, guys. Keep talking. Y'all got to talk." He wasn't talking basketball. I didn't hear any time he talking about basketball. But Coach JJ, he's talking about real basketball in the timeouts. In the interviews, he's talking about real basketball. So at least I have a competent coach, which is what I'm happy about. But in regards to the personnel, we're still in trouble, Rob. We're still in trouble with the personnel. We're still in trouble because when you have LeBron on the team, you got to look at patterns. What does LeBron need to win championships, regardless of the era? He's always needed shooters, and he's always needed a real center. Okay, all the center needs to be is real big. Don't have to be super talented.
Yeah, I don't know why y'all didn't go after Drummond. I'm glad we went and got him back because it's gonna be
Yes,
he's a solid when he especially I know I'm a real big fantasy basketball guy, but even just from like a basketball mindset, when he plays like the minutes and gets the minutes that he needs, he's solid. Uh
yes,
Rebounds and scoring. Obviously was always a great defender. A lot of these young kids probably think Andre Drummond was a bum, but if we look at stats back in Detroit, that he was on the esque of probably becoming a Hall of Famer until
yeah,
he quit. Um, but even now, he still put up. So I can say he's a solid double guy if you give him 25 to 28 minutes, which is good. And that's just alone through 25, 28 minutes. If you play longer, that probably even have a better game. But that's probably definitely a big that you need for a Lob City. I see how Chris Paul and them over there in San Antonio. He's already showing them what these players have been doing last year. Lob the damn ball to Wimbiana. So hoping his teammate is taking notes on that. But yeah, I also like how y'all letting Austin Reeves let the offense run through him and get people open, which I love to see from fantasy aspect because I'm definitely gonna draft him now because I was trying to figure out who's gonna be the ball facilitator between Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell. And right now it's looking like Austin Reeves, which couldn't agree with more.
most definitely. D'Angelo Russell's still lying. He's still lying. He's still scamming.
I'm shocked y'all ain't trade him yet. I probably should trade him when he was having that last.
Exactly.
Now y'all stuck like a dope.
Exactly. But I wanted Zach Edey. When talking about it, I wanted Zach Edey so bad
Oh,
from the draft.
yeah,
I thought
bro.
he would have been a perfect fit.
I was sick when they took him at 9. I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
see
I would
that?
say, but no, that's all we need is a solid center like Andre Drummond. Give me 10 and 10. That's solid. That's all I need. That's all we need because AD's been saying he don't want to play the 5. So I don't understand why we did not get a center. Like LeBron won a championship with Joel Anthony as the center.
I like
Okay,
I like the Jack Hayes guy, but from when he's with the Pelicans, but just gotta use him more. I mean, that seems to come and playing out decent in the preseason, but I mean this preseason I don't really care about preseason, but I would like to see him get a little bit more minutes.
yeah, yeah. But I really do hope we can put together some type of package to trade D'Lo to get a big because you know Dalton Connect is looking good when it comes to a shooter. He's looking really good. He's young, but he's looking good. And so if you can just give me a solid center, I'll be confident. But right now, I'm not confident, just delusional. That's it. But I'm happy with what JJ has done, but I still don't trust his organization. They have done nothing for me to trust them.
No, that's real. Definitely, if some big move happens in the before a trade deadline, y'all probably if they see like they look like they're gonna make some shake. Hopefully, they try to get a center, and that's a good strip. And hopefully, because y'all have a promising team. I don't know if it's gonna be good enough to come out the West, but it's a promise to at least make it deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, we can make a run. Like the JJ Redick hire alone was helpful. And Rob, I've been watching the Starting Five documentary on Netflix.
I gotta watch it. I'm still watching the receiver. Go ahead.
Bro, the only scene I want to talk about is they were following LeBron during game 1 of last season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Coach Ham had LeBron on a minutes restriction. And during the timeout, LeBron literally took over the timeout to tell them what to do. And as soon as he got done talking, he walked away from Darvin Ham and he was talking to the assistant coaches about how he hates this minutes restriction. He's pissed. And LeBron said, quote unquote, in game 1, I hate this shit already. So he hated Ham. LeBron hated Ham from game 1. And they always say LeBron is in control of the team. If he was in control of the team, he would not have been put on a minutes restriction. He hated that minutes restriction. And he hated Ham. So Ham would have been gone if he was really in charge of the team.
Yeah, Magic got that. The back in the day got them assistant coach turn head coach off. But it's like, yeah, I mean, I get it why he's restricted because Brown old as hell. But it's like y'all wasn't even gonna make no late playoff run, so you might as well just let him play, especially on game 1 though. I get like later in the season. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but
But yeah, no, I'm feeling I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling a little optimistic, much better than last year. So we'll see what the front office can do to really make it shake. And how you feeling about the Sixers?
so you know how I feel about Paul George, but he's looking pretty promising right now. He's much better fit for us than Tobias Harris was. No disrespect, well, all disrespect to Tobias Harris. Uh, I feel like Tobias Harris is going to thrive in the fantasy aspect with the Detroit Pistons. As he not, I would say he'd be like one of the main guys outside of Cade, of course. He's going to be one of their main scorers for the team. So he could be able to be like one of the focal points for Detroit. With us, he was always a third option. I like Paul George because he knows he's a third option between Maxey and Embiid. And also, he brings us. If he plays down at the 4, he can bring us a better stretch than with Tobias was, as well as, even though he struggled in Indiana as the marquee guy in playoff situations, as a 3 guy, I feel like he'll be solid and thrive. Um, so it's looking promising, but a lot of people talking about the Paul George, but it's for once the first time I feel like we have a solid bench. We got Oubre, Eric Gordon. I feel like Eric Gordon a little bit few years later, but he's still solid. We should have got him a few years ago when he was a free agent, but we're actually getting a solid team where you come off the bench and it's like, okay, we still got to take the Sixers serious. When years before that wasn't the case. Um, I love the Andre Drummond signing. I talked about earlier when B was talking about he doesn't care about uh all-star regulars. He just to me that sound like, I might be speculating, but it sounded like he's gonna be sitting a lot of games this year, which I'm cool with. I wasn't gonna draft him in fantasy anyway. Uh but I know for sure that Drummond is going to be solid for that team. And it's just good to see that we finally have a solid bench where starters don't have to play ridiculous. Like sometimes with the Sixers before, they have to keep one of them in between Maxi and Tobias because our bench was just so damn abysmal. They could quickly give up a big lead because they were terrible. So it's good to see that we got a solid bench in addition of Paul George, who's good on defensive end. Obviously his big knock was showing up big moments in the playoffs and staying healthy.
Yeah, that's the big one.
I feel
That's the
like
big
yeah, and I feel like this year now he has a star player. Paul, obviously Kawhi was a dominant player, but I think he never played with someone as dominant as Joel Embiid because Kawhi Leonard, great player, but this is not Kawhi's best years that he's given the Clippers organization. He's always injured. Uh,
mm-hmm.
so this is definitely not. This is not Toronto shit. This is not San Antonio shit. It's not even really Toronto. Kawhi Leonard. So I think this is the first time he plays with a premier superstar in his prime, and Joel Embiid, and obviously you want to say rising star, but is a star now in Maxey. So he never had a double threat like that where he's the third option. So this is good. We'll see how he adapts to it, which I think he would be able to adapt pretty well. So we'll see. It's looking pretty promising, but like I said, where Philly sports get your hopes up and then just let you down. So I don't want to get too hype about it until I see like at least first few months of this team playing solid.
Agreed. Agreed. I hate Paul George, so I don't want them to do well in anything.
Oh wow, damn.
Yep, this I'm as a LeBron fan, I grew up hating Paul George because of that Indiana rivalry, I was beat in the playoffs, so I don't want that man to be successful anywhere. So there's that.
I don't like that for you.
Yep. The only ring I want him to have is that wedding ring. That's it.
Yeah. Uh, let's see. Let me pick my picks. Make my log in. All right. Let's see. So there we go. All right. So my 4-leg parlay had over 48.5 from that San Fran and Seattle game that clearly covered. I got over 51.5 for the Washington Commanders and Ravens game. Money line, Green Bay. Should be no brainer against the Cardinals. Taking the money line, Texans against the Patriots. Then I got the NFL 5-team NFL teaser. Obviously, I had the over 42.5. San Fran, Seattle that cover. I took the Eagles -3.5 against the Browns. Hopefully they don't let me down. Texans took the spread against them against the New England Patriots. They're starting rookie quarterback Drake May today. Houston has a great defense. Obviously they haven't been shown these last few weeks, but I feel like the Houston defense has a big game against rookie Drake May. Took Tampa Bay spread over the New Orleans Saints and playing against another rookie quarterback today, Spencer Rattler. I feel like Tampa Bay defense does what they need to do, and the offense thrives again. Took the Atlanta Falcons spread 0.5 over the Panthers. That's a no-brainer. Kirk Cousins and Drake London have been finally showing chemistry over the last few weeks, and I feel like it continues today. Then I had a YOLO parlay that was looking promising until they called back the DJ Moore touchdown. I had the Saquon anytime touchdown, Eagles -2.5. Then I had the Thursday game with the Lynx and the Liberty where I had Sabrina hitting 2 made threes. Nafisa Collier having 20 points. Courtney Williams having 10 points. Nafisa having 8 rebounds. McBride having 10 points. Stewie having 8. And then I had the George Kittle anytime touchdown. I had a DJ Moore touchdown, which, like I said earlier, pissed me off because they called it back. Ref should look the other way there. I had Derrick Henry anytime touchdown today. David Montgomery anytime touchdown today against the Cowboys. Drake London anytime touchdown against the Carolina. Then I had the under 40.5 against for the Bills and Jets Monday night game. And that game it was like the odds were like 88,000. Would it cashed out something crazy, Ashley.
Mm.
Uh NFL ref. Yeah. They always screw you over when you need them. Talk about his arm was down. It was barely down. They could look the other way. It was already a blowout anyway. It's in London. Nobody's really paying attention. But it is what it is. And then just my picks in the day, I did. Oh wow, I really picked the Jaguars. That must be my mistake. I took the 49ers. Really should hit the Bears. I don't know why I took the Jaguars on this one because I definitely had the Bears on another league. I took the who did I take for this one? I'm taking the Ravens over the Commanders, even though I think that's going to be a shootout. Jaden Daniels has really been playing phenomenal this year. For me, I feel like he's a rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year candidate. A lot of people think it's going to be Caleb Williams running away with it. Jaden Daniels is definitely putting up a show. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams had 5 touchdowns today against London, but a lot of people weren't watching the game. But Caleb Williams and the Bears are finally starting to click on the right cylinders, all cylinders, which is a good thing to sign, especially for Chicago fans that have been watching their franchise be abysmal for umpteen years. So it's a good thing to see. Shout out to those guys. I got Green Bay beating Arizona. I don't think that game's close. I'm taking Texans over the Patriots. Again, I don't think that game's close either. Buccaneers, Saints. It would have been close if Carr was playing, but he's not. Spencer Rattler, rookie quarterback, first game going against Tampa Bay with Todd Bowles, who's always a defensive minded coach. He obviously the head coach, but he's always been defensive minded. I think he struggles. Taking the Eagles over the Browns. They got AJ Brown and Smitty back. Love to see it from our fantasy team as well as being a fellow Eagles fan. Um, I feel like they played well today. Colts over the Titans, even though they don't have Anthony Richardson, which I think is a blessing for them. I don't know if people see Anthony Richardson. He's a solid, decent quarterback, but he's not going to be the guy to take you over the hump and take it to them, obviously, late playoff runs. I like Joe Flacco. I feel like Joe Flacco wins this game for them. I'm taking Broncos over the Chargers. Sean Payton has had this offense playing well. Defense has really been, well, not the offense. The defense has been playing pretty well. The offense has been playing okay. But Bo Nix is doing, he's not doing anything like creative, but he's doing the stuff that he need to get the ball into the end zone. I'm taking the Steelers over the Raiders. I feel like that's a no-brainer. No Devontae Adams. Obviously, it's gonna be some QB controversy coming up with Russ being back. But Justin Fields been playing well. Obviously, they lost two straight, and I feel they lose today. I feel like Russ comes in or comes in later in the game if they're losing bad. But I don't see that happening. I feel like Justin Fields doesn't need to do, and Steelers come out with a W. Taking the Falcons over the Panthers. Um, it's going to be a good game between the Cowboys and Lions. Definitely going to be a shootout. Uh, Dallas has always had Detroit's number, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is definitely a beast. And then they got the two-headed running back monsters with David Montgomery and Jamar Gibbs, which is crazy 1-2 punch. I'm taking the Giants over the Bengals. I know that sounds crazy, but the Bengals just always find a way to lose lately. And I'm taking the Bills over the Jets. The Jets just fired their head coach. That's not gonna fix the issue. Obviously they relinquished Nathaniel Hackett's offensive coordinator duties. He's still the coach, but he definitely got demoted. They want to start having a more fast-paced offense. We'll see how much that works for them. I don't see it working at all. Aaron Rodgers definitely father time starting to catch up to him, and nobody wants to talk about that. That's the main reason why they're looking like the way they're doing. Like you're underthrowing, overthrowing. Garrett Wilson is insane. But yeah, those are my picks. Did you want to add anything else?
No, I'm all good. I'm all good. I'm all good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Appreciate you coming on.